The Las Vegas Raiders just made a decision that nobody saw coming, and it might be the smartest move in the entire NFL this year. While every other team is chasing big names in trades, the Raiders are sitting on a secret weapon they already have. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll understand why this team could shock the league in ways you never expected. Let's be honest. If you're not a Raiders hater, this off-season has been pretty impossible to criticize. This team went out and filled almost every hole on the roster, both in free agency and in the draft. The defense looks scary good now, good enough that some people are calling it one of the best units in the whole league this season. The offense got a serious glow-up too. The offensive line is deeper, the coaching staff is sharper, and the quarterback room finally looks legit. They brought in Kirk Cousins as a steady veteran bridge, and they used their number 1 overall pick on Fernando Mendoza, who many believe is the future face of the franchise. So here's the real question everybody keeps asking. Who is actually going to catch passes for this offense? And honestly, that question has sparked a wild rumor mill. Prediction markets have been flip-flopping like crazy. One week they're convinced the Raiders are landing Stefon Diggs. A few days later, suddenly it's Justin Jefferson getting traded in from Minnesota. Then almost overnight, the buzz shifts to speedster Tyreek Hill signing in Vegas. It's been non-stop chaos. But here's the thing. Do the Raiders even need to make a splashy move? Maybe they should look in their own locker room first. Everyone keeps saying this team desperately needs a true number 1 receiver. That's actually not true at all. They already have him, and his name is Brock Bowers. Think about it this way. Travis Kelce basically functioned as Kansas City's top target for years. Rob Gronkowski was New England's number 1 guy in his prime. George Kittle has played that exact role for San Francisco too. Nowhere does it say a team's leading receiver has to line up out wide. Head coach Pete Carroll's staff, led by offensive mind Chip Kelly, has already hinted they're going to move Bowers all over the field. Sometimes he'll split out as a receiver. Sometimes he'll work the slot. They might even put him in the backfield at fullback on certain plays, especially since they have Michael Mayer ready to step in at tight end when Bowers shifts around. Defenses are going to spend the whole game just trying to locate him before the snap, because he can pop up literally anywhere. All the coaching staff has to do is find the matchup they like, and given how versatile Bowers is, they'll find it constantly. That's exactly why he's going to be this offense's number 1 weapon. No trade required. Now here's a name you need to watch closely, because this is where it gets interesting. Trey Tucker is the wild card nobody's talking about enough. This guy has legit blazing speed and runs sharp, clean routes. You can actually see traces of his old teammate Davante Adams in how he sets up his releases. When you combine a clean release with elite speed, defensive backs simply cannot stay with you deep. We saw flashes of this last season, except his quarterback at the time kept missing him or just never found him downfield. That quarterback isn't walking through that door anymore. Now it's Cousins and Mendoza throwing him the ball instead. The coaching staff has already noticed Tucker in a big way. They've openly admitted he was the player who surprised them most on film. Then during organized team activities and minicamp, the praise kept coming. When coaches gush about a guy this much in the off-season, you better believe there's a plan brewing, and that plan almost certainly involves using him as a deep threat off play action. Pairing a speed burner like Tucker with a chess piece like Bowers creates nightmares for opposing defenses. Remember how the old Raiders teams built speed around guys like Todd Christensen? Or how Kansas City surrounded Kelce with burners for years? This looks like that same blueprint. Who's to blame if this offense somehow underperforms despite all this talent? Drop a name below, because I want to hear your take. There's also Jaylen Nailor, who the coaching staff brought over from Minnesota. He's another speedster who never really got his shot because Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison soaked up all the targets up north. When injuries opened the door, Nailor showed real flashes of ability. Cousins actually knows him well from their shared time with the Vikings, and it wouldn't be shocking if Cousins personally pushed for this signing. Nailor landed a solid contract, which tells you the front office believes in him too. Then there's Dante Thornton, a massive target standing 6'5", 205 pounds, and somehow running a blazing 40 time. That combination of size and speed puts him in an incredibly rare category of athletes. He turned heads immediately in training camp last year, constantly torching defenders deep. For a stretch, people were treating this 4th-round pick like a much higher selection based purely on impact. But rookie mistakes crept in, and a head coach with little patience for rookie errors benched him quickly. You have to wonder how much of that struggle was actually his fault versus a shaky quarterback situation around him. There were plays where he ran wide open deep and simply never got the football. The talent is clearly there, and this new staff has every reason to find out what he can really do. Don't go anywhere yet, because there's one more name with serious bloodline that you need to hear about. Shedrick Jackson deserves a real look too. He's the nephew of Hall of Famer Bo Jackson, and he backed that legacy up by running an elite 40 time at his pro day. Speed like that fits perfectly with what this coaching staff wants surrounding Bowers. His route running has improved noticeably, his hands have gotten more reliable, and his breaks look smoother than ever. After a stint mostly on a practice squad elsewhere, he arrived in Vegas hungry to prove himself. He got cut initially, bounced back to the practice squad, got a brief call-up in Week 7, then returned for good in Week 14. During that stretch, he flashed real big playability, including a 25-yard touchdown grab. With better coaching and a full off-season, his upside looks intriguing. Then there's a quieter name in the mix who simply hasn't generated much buzz this off-season. Last year, this player barely got mentioned during the off-season program or camp, and he eventually lost his roster battle. The silence around him again this year could mean nothing, or it could be a warning sign. He's more of a possession-type target with strong hands, the ability to finish through contact, and toughness after the catch. The problem is that Bowers already covers most of those strengths and then some, which makes his path to playing time a lot murkier. Bottom line, the Raiders have an absurd amount of depth and speed to sort through before they ever need to think about trading for an outside name. This isn't a win-now Super Bowl roster anyway, so there's zero rush. The idea that landing a superstar receiver like Jefferson would only cost a first and third round pick feels completely unrealistic. As for some of these other rumored names, their off-field situations and recent injury history make them risky bets for a team that should be patient. The smartest move the Raiders can make right now is doing absolutely nothing until the trade deadline and letting this young, hungry receiver room fight it out for targets. Let me know which one of these guys you think breaks out first this season, and I'll see you in the next one.